Hey guys, I'm here with Fat Cat. I'm glad you guys are joining us. You might know Fat Cat from his YouTube channel. He goes over a lot of really good psychology and mindset tips, and he's a good trader, good analyst, and I'm happy you're here with us. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Um, yeah, so I appreciated you having us on your YouTube. So I thought I'd introduce you to our audience as well.
What is
Um,
up, everybody?
Uh, let's just get right into it. So where did you start? What got you into trading? How long ago was that?
I first heard about day trading in 2012. At that point, I was a mechanic working on cars. And then I wanted to do something else with my life. I ended up going down a different path, made some money, and then in 2015, I'm like, well, what can I do with this money to grow it? And then I thought about day trading. Like in 2012, was watching like some day trading videos, and YouTube trading back then was a lot different than it is now.
Who was that? I'm always curious. Was there a
Day
certain
trading
YouTube channel?
Rockstar. It was day trading Rockstar. He's still around, if I'm not mistaken. His videos were super technical, mostly stocks. But I joined. I was in his room, and he was day trading ES. So what was it? 2016 of October. I did my first sim account, and it was ES. I was trading ES, and I was in his room watching signals. And I thought maybe I could get rich off of this.
Overnight.
Yeah, I think we all thought that or something. There's a romance to it when you're new that I see with a lot of new traders, and that's just not the reality of it.
Yeah. It's hard to explain since you're just pushing a couple buttons on the screen. Like, well, don't I
Yeah.
just have to push a couple buttons?
Yep. I'm here after 7 years and I've understand your Dom from your video at the top. Yeah, man. I And what was interesting is the Sims back then were unrealistic, so I thought I could just play like the spread. And dude, I was like making a lot of money, so I started. I was like shopping online for like jets and shit, because that's where I thought it would go. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
It
It's
didn't
just
happen.
1% every day indefinitely until you
Yeah.
have trillions of dollars.
So
Yeah, that's cool. So it's futures right away. That
yeah.
stuck out to you.
Well, you didn't have the pattern day trading. Um, I kept seeing ES. I just started with ES. Actually started on a DOM too, which is interesting, and I didn't realize what it was, but I was trading on it while looking at charts because this brokerage would let you demo for 2 weeks, and I kept telling them, "Give me another 2 weeks." Um, I did find John Grady 2017. So I had a brief stint with bonds, but he was using ES as inverse correlations, and trading 10 years was really boring. And I just kept looking at ES. Lost some money, quit for some time. I lost $1,000 in 30 minutes. I'm like, fuck this. And then I came back uh, several months later, and I'm like, if I just sit here and commit to it
Mhm.
and really try, it it should work. I don't know when. I don't need to know when. I'm just gonna try my
Right.
best, and I should get better at it because it's a skill.
So
And
were you
that's what
deliberate about your practice at that point, or was it more just screen time? You know, just trying to embrace it all.
I. I think being a new trader is difficult because there's too much information. The information conflicts. I. It wasn't until I saw SMB Capital videos that I'm like, wait, I should review and playbook. Now, John Grady mentioned recording and reviewing, which I was doing, but not consistently.
Mhm.
And then I started tagging trades early on as well, and I wasn't consistent with all these routines and stuff. I would do it and then I would stop and then I'd be like, "Man, I need to do this." And like falling in love with trying to do the work is tough. Um, because it's not trading, it's like work. And then
Yeah, you don't get a reward that day for it.
yeah,
Nothing's the reward like watching your P&L go green, and you'll always be eyeing it from the side
yeah.
of your eye.
I was tagging, and then I found, and then what was cool was I was like filtering out tags I knew that hurt me, and then I'm like, wait a second, I am consistently profitable if I stop doing these things.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I'll just focus on those little goals. And I started to realize trading wasn't like P&L. It's too broad of a statistic. There's more nuances with it. Like why is it looking like that? What's going on? Why, like, if I look at my timestamps and I have a trade every 2 minutes, then I'm over trading. I need to tag that or something. And
Mm-hmm.
I owe a lot to that. So, and it's just kind of learning my system, taking other people's systems. I could never stick to a system A to Z. I always modified it. Some people are like that, and started to kind of develop my own thing. And I don't know. At this point, I've looked at ES exclusively for 8.5 years, and I just this one market pretty much my entire career. So I kind of know it.
Right.
I mean, it'll still get me though.
Yeah, this year's been a stinger for a lot of people.
What's that?
ES is starting to look like the NQ lately. This
Oh
year,
yeah. What do
whipping
you mean
out
with the way it's moving and stuff?
the way it's moving. It's just the volatility recently, and of course the Trump tweets, and those kinds of
Yeah. Well, when he was his first term, he was doing the same shit.
yeah.
They would say China trade wars, and it would rug pull, and then it'd go right back.
Mm-hmm. But now the ATR is just increasing, so it's just getting pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Everyone
after his
reduce your size a little bit, compensate.
well, when he was in his first term, the book was thicker, so the limits were a lot bigger, like 300s or something. After COVID, it all thinned out.
You used to do a lot of trading, order flow trading, right? And then you kind of hopped away from it. What's that looking like for you?
What That's interesting. Because I have a lot of content on order flow, so I get put in the order flow category. However, I always had Auction Vista up, which I didn't realize it was such a low time frame. So on Jigsaw, they have like a chart that connects to the DOM, and I like it because like you can see exactly where the price action is. So I was looking at that the entire time. I didn't realize it was such a low time frame, like 3 seconds or something, 6 seconds. So I was making a lot of decisions based off like price action. So it really had been about price action, the actual story of the bars. Oh, well, there's a double top here, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Order flow is interesting for me. I don't think order flow has, and I've seen it change so much. I think it's more of a weather sort of report. Is it thin? Is it thick? Is there a lot of spoofing? Is there a lot of reloading? Is
Mm-hmm.
there not a lot of reloading? Is there barely any market orders come in? Is there too many makers over takers? And I'm sure there's something going on in my subconscious mind from looking at it that I couldn't explain. I like to look at it like today. There was this weird this range we were in when it first started. The market had dumped at what time was that? Give me just a second. Around 9:45 my time, 10:45 Eastern. There was this weird offer just kind of floating away from the spread, and then there was all this reloading. That to me is not a way to make a trading decision. Yeah, it was right up in here. I might have a recording of it. That's not a way for me to make a trading decision. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
hey, that's interesting. There's something not normal going on here. I'm just going to pay attention to it. So as far as order flow goes, I think everybody can see it. I think the algos game it. You can't really lean into a big bid or offer because it may go away. But I think it gives me a good feel for what the market is how it's ebbing and flowing.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of like looking at a building and you can see at the bottom it's sort of crumbling. So I'm just gonna make sure that this building's not about to
Yeah.
fall over.
Or it starts to rain a little bit. You look at the
Yeah.
sky, it's really dark clouds.
Gotcha.
You know, that's what it is.
Yeah, there's an intuition there that it just takes time to feel, but sometimes it's hard to describe. So take us through then, like what your typical ES scalp or trade would look like right now. What would that look like?
It depends if I'm gonna scalp. Today it was mostly scalps. I do have video footage. Just give me a moment while I pull it up.
Okay.
It depends. Sometimes I'll get into a hold. Sometimes it'll be a scalp. I've had an identity crisis from a lot of my career. It's like once you kind of get into a couple of holds where you knew there could be a potential, you could hold it, it could work. Getting the taste of that, it's hard to stop doing that. But at the same time, it's like scalping is the bread and butter. So a typical session would be like, yeah, let's see if this works. Yeah, this is a recording from today. So running through a checklist, checking the different time frames. So this is taking forever to load. So for example, I'm going to start off with usually the 30-minute, which is on the left. I'm going to go through it. Well, what are they doing? It's in a range. And hold on, this audio is starting to play. So I run through a checklist. I go over, there's a few things I go over. Is it in a range? Is it a trend or a value search? So 30-minute is in a range. And then there's these things called reclaims, which the markets usually put in a hard move and they usually take it back. How are they taking those back? Are there channels? Are there flat tops, flat bottoms? Because the ES, as you can see on this 1 second chart, is very notorious for holding flat zones to the tick. It's like they're trapping almost. You can't even get and it's not like this is bid the whole time. It'll go offer, but not even a one lot hits the other side. So for me, those are like little liquidity zones. Are they breaching them on the top side, bottom side? So I go through this procedure on the 30-minute, 5-minute. So I check the 5-minute, and then I go down to the 30-second. Is the 30 like right now? The 30-second is like in a trend, whereas the higher time frame's not. And then I go into the 1 second, and I do the same sort of checklist procedure on each.
So you go down to the 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you go further?
No, I've not experienced milliseconds yet, just 1. So I'll go down to the 1. I think I can see, like, I don't really see the need to go down. Maybe I'll be saying something different in a couple of years, but
I was just screwing with you.
Yeah, I can see all the movement on the 1 second.
Sure.
Like I can see every tick, and I want to look for like agreement. I want to look for like specific patterns that are holding. Like for instance, like there's certain days where a channel will go up, and then they consistently break down. But then there's days where they go up and they'll break both ways. So am I getting pattern consistency? If so, I can lean into that. Again, it's all price action for the most part. And are my higher time frames agreeing with each other? So currently, I think we're in a bit of a weird area. I haven't looked at it for a hot minute, but for me, I do believe that we're still in a range on the 30-minute. We can still get a unidirectional sort of movement. I do believe there might be a potential short setting up in here, like these compression zones, which are like upside wedges. There was one here, it failed. This one looks like it might start failing. And for the last week, I've gotten 2 compressions and they fail and the market dumps. So it's just trying to get all my time frames to agree, and I have clarity about what's going on. Like placing a trade from a point of confusion is the worst thing I can do. Like between me and some other traders I work with, one of the universal tags we use, and if you guys are with the futures desk, you guys have access to their journal, and you guys should be tagging. Tag your clarity. Like, are you clear or are you confused? Or are you in between? So I have 3 tags: clarity, in between, and confusion. And between me and 4 other guys, universally, that specific tag always looks the same. When we're really clear about what is happening and we're not placing a trade out of confusion, that equity curve for the clarity tag goes up. And when we're confused, we all perform terribly. So,
And remember, guys, don't tag that or think of that after you take the trade. Make the decision you had clarity before it.
right,
You don't just
yes.
start. You
So
don't start tagging it, saying,
I
"Oh,
think
this was a good trade. I had clarity because it won."
exactly. I think tags are important. Certain tags are important to make tag it now. Like I can't remember several hours later if I was clear. So I think certain tags you like you just said, you need to do live in the moment.
Sure. And our dashboard, little subtle plug there is our dashboard does give you the ability to tag the trade right after you take it. So do it early, guys. There's a reason for that. Okay, cool. So what would like this trade? This is hypothetical. I know you're not taking this trade, but what would it take now, and what would your entry criteria look like? Like for it to break down and you start looking for a short? Are you looking for sort of a burst of unidirectional move over a short period of time, and then you look for a pullback for a continuation, or
This
you get
one's
in earlier or later?
this one's tough because most of the most of the time as a trader you're sort of hunting, or at least for me. What I don't like is the 30-second is in an uptrend. This is the 30-second. They are doing a wedge. It did break out. It did pull back, and it looked like it was going to do another run, but now it's kind of crumbling into this compression. I think there could be a potential short, but the problem is it might have this like lazy drift before it goes. So if we go to the 1 second. So like the 1 second, I'm looking at like sort of micro ranges and seeing if they're putting in measured moves, which is the body width.
And you never you don't like looking at volume candles then, in place of 1 second. I feel like you could get a little bit more of the price
I
action
don't like
dictate.
old. I don't like older. I don't like. You mean footprints?
No, I mean purely candlesticks based on volume. So
Like a
100
volume
100
histogram?
volume. What's that?
Like a volume histogram at the bottom of
No,
the
you
chart?
could just change this time frame on this CR
Oh,
chart. You know what I mean? To
oh,
instead of
volume based.
volume based.
I've never really done that. It's always been traditional price over time.
Okay,
Never anything
something to
fancy.
look at. Yeah, it's not too fancy. It'll give you a little bit better shape to the
I
price
think that would
action.
be interesting to look at. I still like look at things that I think are that might be interesting, like Gex. I went through a stint of looking at it, but
Okay.
that's a whole another can of worms.
Sorry, I
Anyways,
interrupted you. Yeah.
no, it's all good. This is a I don't know. At this point, I would want to wait. I
You
I
take a
think it's
lot of
kind
little
of
trades. Do you
huh?
try to like do you look for a lot of like small entries and then take a quick stop out? Are you trying to get entries like that, or do
Well,
you set it and forget it?
the momentum is a little shitty. There's a nice reclaim right here, like this little straight up bar, and it looks like they're probing at it. I don't really like grinding ticks. The volatility is a little crappy right now, and it looks like they are running this reclaim. If I was, for me, I would probably want to sit in a hold, um, but I'd want to do it. I'd want to wait for this to like actually range up again, which it kind of is. A little bit in this area. I want this sort of this area to get a little cleaner.
Mhm.
And then if it looks like it's going to go for a breakout, I'll try to lean into that. If this gets cleaner and it's not breaking out and I have an opportunity to get in short up here, possibly try that. As far as running risk on it, probably up into the 70s, because I know there could be a potential drift. Maybe 72s. It just really depends, because when I sit in the trade, the price action, since I watched such a low time frame, the price action, the patterns start to shift. So like if I'm sitting in a trade, like yesterday, I left a lot of money on the table. I was getting into a lot of trades that would go really far, but then as they were coming back, I'm like, okay, I need to actually pull this, because the price action is telling me that there might be a reversal overall, and then I would pull them for some profit, and then had I held them, it would have blown me out each and every
That'll stick into your head for a month.
What's that?
That'll stick in your head for a month.
Oh yeah,
Remembering those trades going without you.
oh,
How do you prepare for that? Everyone struggles, but how are you staying in the right? Well, I know you do a lot of stuff to stay in the right mindset. I know you meditate, you do tons of stuff in that, so you can think clearly right now. Obviously, the volume's a little lower; it's a little bit easier to handle that. But when volume's kicking in, you're making the right decisions. You know, I think it sounds like you saw something in the price action that would be against your rules. Like maybe this is. I know you're not super strict on rules. You're very discretionary, right? You would say.
yeah, pretty discretionary, yes.
Right. But generally speaking, if as part of your discretion, if you saw the price action going against you, the order flow, the way the market's moving, you got out of those trades. Now you have a little bit of FOMO. You're not acting on it. But what do you do in those? Oh, you right.
I do still act on FOMO every
Sure.
now and then.
I guess how you fight it. Maybe not fully control.
There's times where I don't. I'll tell you this. I think there's just something where you can't replace seat time. I think just being here all the time, you get desensitized to it. It's kind of like soldiers in war. If they're getting shot at it every day, at first it's really scary, but then you just kind of
You're the sergeant on top of the hill with the cigar out, yelling at the privates.
Just whiz it past your head and you laugh about it or whatever, you know. But at first it was scary. There's just a point where I'm desensitized to it. Like I know that if I know that I might miss a trade, I go through my head and I say it's okay, and just accept it. Like there's this little thing I'll do in my head where I'm like, if I take a loss or something, I just kind of sit with it. I'm like, it's okay. If I miss this trade, it's okay. If this goes without me, that's fine. Because there's nothing I can do about it. I think.
What tags do you use for that?
For when FOMO happens, or
post trade, do you do that? So you know.
I do have tags for my entries. I'm grading entries and exits all the time. So is it a perfect entry? And it obviously is discretionary. Like, cause I record the session and then I watch the recording. Was the entry too early? And was it too late? Was it perfect? Or should it never have happened? Those are 4 tags.
And just to remind everyone, because it's super important, don't associate winning the trade or losing the trade with these tags. This is leading up to the trade, because that's all you can control.
Yeah. So these are my these are like my review tags, because I don't tag them. I don't tag my entries and exits until like after the fact, because I need to keep scrubbing through the footage. And then exit, perfect exit, early, or hold more. Exit tags are interesting because like when volatility starts kicking in, like when we were in VIX 50 a few months back, like February or whatever, I was getting a lot of hold more tags. So as I'm looking at that, I'm like, okay, well, volatility is higher. We should start pushing. And what's interesting is when those tags start to go to held too long, then I know I need to start pulling the reins back, and what I'm looking for is now unrealistic because volatility does dictate what you can get. I think the price action's all kind of the same, no matter the volatility. It's like a rubber band. It's stretched or it's not. Then I could get back then. I need to get 5 points or 2.5 points minimum. How it is now, I can get away with 2 ticks. I don't want 2 ticks, but if that's what it comes down to, as far as psychology goes, I tag these in the moment. I have patience, and it's like on a scale of 1 to 3. I have no desire to trade, and I have it written in an answer form. So no desire to trade, slight urge to trade. I want to trade now. So that for me is patience, which statistically that's where I've struggled the most. Then I have tilt in I'm calm, which is the ideal tag to have on. Getting agitated, I'm pissed. And then I have contentment, which I think there's a holy trinity of psychology. It's either a lot of people struggle with FOMO or tilt. FOMO is you're not calm. I mean, it doesn't have to be that you're not calm. It's like it's a lack of patience. However, the tilt could be affecting that. Another thing is contentment. When people are revenge trading and they're trading their P&L, am I content with my losses right now? Some traders can't handle the first trade being a loss, and they're fine, but the moment the first trade of the day is a loss, they go to hell. Or maybe they all have these weird patterns, like all these traders. Maybe it's 2 losses in a row or 3. I remember being in an environment where I would keep getting break even after break even. I'm not losing money really other than commissions, but like once I would hit like 5 break evens in a row, I would just lose it. So there's like this weird threshold. It's like lifting weights or something.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
We have a streak analysis on our reporting, and I often look at that with traders, and I'll show them how you'll see that they'll have green, green, red, green, green, red, and then if you look at the groupings of how, they'll have it. So if they have 3 reds, they'll have 8 reds. Like they don't have anywhere in between. They'll have 2 or they'll have 8, and it starts happening over and over. And it's like, hey, it's pretty obvious the data is telling you stop after 2, because once you go after 2, you seem to, whatever it is, we can make some assumptions about what it is, but you go over 2, you're hitting 8. So for now, just nip it in the butt and make it a hard rule.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned that, and you're seeing it as well. I think most traders are really crappy at diagnosing the problem. Like traders all the time are like, oh, I keep doing this or that. Well, you need or they don't know what's happening.
Yeah, they put it in a bag of, I need to stop the FOMO, I need to do this, and that they just leave it there. They're like, I know that stuff's bad.
They need to start
until you visualize it. You have to visualize it over a long period of time and go, oh, and then you'll wholly embrace it. Then the next time you're going to take the trade, you're like, wait a minute, I saw the chart. It's not worth it taking this risk for the gamble. Because that's what they think. It's like, oh, it's really bad stuff, but every now and then I'll go and do that thing and I'll win. So if you're not really sure that that's actually hurting you over time, you'll keep doing it because it's that slot machine factor, It's like, well, let me just pull the slot machine one more time.
It's bad, and not enough influencers, not enough people with, that have a platform like us are talking about that.
No.
Nobody's talking about that.
Just talking about 20 accounts and.
Yeah. And you and I are looking at traders, and when you're looking at the data, like you said, after 2 losses, they go to hell. It goes right to 8. And they need to, I think recording's important, because watch that second loss, because there's something about watching the footage where that emotion will fester up again. You're like, something about watching you take that trade. And for me, like, it's important to like get into a meditative state somehow quickly and just watch it over and over until you are just, it doesn't even affect you anymore. And that can add a lot of time to the review process. However, through that process of watching it, you're programming the subconscious mind to associate whatever happened, the second loss, with just being okay. You need to find true contentment. It's like, a girl or something. You're like, "Are you all right?" And she's like, "I'm fine." It's like, you're not fine. So don't lie to yourself when you're looking
Mm-hmm.
at that trade. Like, do you feel okay with that? If not, you need to just keep looking at it, because what's happening is the price action patterns, your P&L, that is triggering you. There is a trigger in that second
Sure.
loss to where you just go off the rails, and until you're aware of it and you look at it and you make that your goal, like focus on it. That's a good tag to have. Track how many losses before it goes to hell, and then figure that out. I think as a trader, you need to learn the skill set of diagnosing the problem. If you're not sure why, that's not good. Never wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
Find some tags. You can do a lot with tags. And then
We're
have a
both big tag
hypothesis.
believers.
It
And
works.
just so everyone knows, Fat Cat here, he's got his own tagging journaling system, and he went super deep on tagging. So I definitely check that out. He went very deep on how that user interface handles tagging. It's really cool. Like experimental level of like really cool ideas.
Yeah, it's
Um,
called Tradecraft Club.
there you go.
If you guys want to check it out, um, just do something. Whether you use a spreadsheet or if you're with them, you use their tags. You should do something. I think using a spreadsheet's a little difficult to
It
like.
is, but there's a lot of people that look at tech and they look at our tech, and it's a high barrier to entry for them. They're like, this is too much. We're trying to simplify the user interface. We always are
Yeah,
working
us
on
too.
that. But if all you can do is write it on a piece of paper because everything else is overwhelming, just do that. Anything.
That's how I used to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Like I used to have like a smile face, a frowny face, and
Yeah,
then
get stickers. Put stickers on your shirt.
yeah, I used to do all sorts of weird crap. But for me, tagging is where I realized I owe a lot to it, and then I got really complacent with it for years, and then I got back into it, and my trading just has been better. Um, but I owe a lot to it because I found edge. I realized that low volatility was killing me. Because I had got consistent for a few months, and then the summer rolled around, and then I just was struggling. I don't remember what year this was. And I'm like, oh shit. But I realized one of my setups still had edge. It was just trading low volatility and over trading. I'm like, my timestamps are too close to each other. This is the problem. So I need to focus on that. And too many traders are looking at the P&L, and that's like their metric. It's too broad. It's all of the little stuff, and you want to find the biggest obvious thing that's hurting you and make that go away. A lot of it is like just cutting out the stuff that is hurting you, because some tags are really like elusive, and you're like, I don't know. This is like, is this helping me?
So again, like on our system in the reports, if you go to our reports, and this will show up automatically, but the important part is tagging it so you can get the most benefit out of it. But if you go into our trade simulator, you can actually remove and see your P&L curves compared of here's the scenario where I didn't do this crap, and then here's my actual P&L, and that can be enough for people to be like, oh look, I stopped trading in the afternoons, and I stopped trading the tags that have FOMO or this particular setup, and I'm actually a successful, consistent trader. One thing else I wanted to say about that was with people have a certain behavior that they need to fix. I like to tell people that you're already consistent, right? You're just consistent at moving your stop. You're consistent at over trading. You're consistent at tilting after two loss trades. Like you have consistency. You're a human. You're a creature of habit. But how are you treating that consistency? And it's hard to adjust because what you've done has kept you into what you think is a safe environment. But trading's probably for the most part not working for you. That I would say that for 90 something percent of the people who are probably even watching. So think about what your consistencies are and just realize you need to re-engineer yourself. The only way that'll stick is by looking at this data in a large time frame.
Yeah. Can I answer that guy's question?
Yeah, do it. Let's go to questions actually overall.
I keep dragging my stop loss like I'm allergic to losses. Why A, tag it, B, record, and then when you do that, like I said, watch it and try to. If you haven't meditated before, it'll be kind of hard. Wim Hof breaths help.
What are those?
It's almost like you're
It's like Lamaze.
hyperventilating. It's these rapid inhales and exhales. And what's interesting is
You want to demonstrate it?
You want me to?
Yeah.
So it's like you want to breathe in as deep as possible, but you don't force the air out. You kind of let it come out, and then you do another deep breath. So, and guys have screenshotted this because it looks like I'm doing something else with my mouth. So feel free. But anyways, it's like so hyperventilating. I'm gonna keep going. I usually do it for about 15 seconds. I have my traders do it for longer. I'll have them do it for 3 minutes. So, and then you start to tingle in your head. Exhale and breathing all the air out, like squeezing toothpaste out of a tube and holding it out and keeping it out. And it's like your brain starts to tingle. For me, it's like brain fog completely gets ripped, and I have this really weird moment of clarity. And then I'll look at the trading screen, and I'll just like, if I move the stop, I'll just watch the thing, and I'll just visualize myself taking the stop and not moving it.
That's cool.
And then
yeah, visualization helps in
feel myself
many aspects of life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you visualize yourself being a trader before you became a trader. I mean, you visualize yourself going to get a steak dinner before you got the steak dinner. So,
but visualize the negative so you're willing to react to it, not just I get in a trade and like, oh, I know it's going to this level, and then when it doesn't, you're like, no, I know it's going there, and then you're moving your stop. Also, Aaron, what I would say, and I just mentioned this to a trader the other day, when you start feeling like you're going to drag your stop, whether you do it or not, tag that, right? Because what I noticed is that intuition you have on the market, when I'm moving a stop, there's almost 100% chance it's going to hit the stop, and I know it's a bad trade.
yeah.
So that's a warning sign for me to get out of the trade entirely early if I think it's going to go to my stop and I want to move it. So think in that term, track it.
Usually the best trades I've noticed work pretty much right away. It depends. But you need to focus on that. That's it. Like, keep trading as best as you can, but like, focus on just stop doing that. And even if you're still down, here's the thing: you might still be down, but you're not down as bad.
Yeah.
You got a piece of meat and you're just cutting the fat off of it. That's all you need to do is just like you're down, but you're not down as bad. That's good. That's one step closer. And then once you're not moving the stop anymore, and it's just part of your deal, it's just a habit not to do that. What else is affecting you? Is there something that's working really well? Do more of that. So taking the most obvious things, good tags and bad tags, because some tags are like, I don't know. Take the worst tags and work on the worst one, and whatever's really good, try to do as much of that as possible.
Just low-hanging fruit, guys. There's a lot of low-hanging fruits in there, especially when you're early on.
The game is yourself, and like you said, low-hanging fruit. The game is those statistics. And if you can just work on those little things, and they can coach with you guys too, right?
Yeah. Yep. Just reach out to us for coaching. Yeah, we'll talk to you about this stuff and try to give you some direction. So just let us know. So we are going to do a giveaway in a little bit. There's one more thing I wanted to get into before that, but I'm sure Raj has been popping that link in there. So just make sure you guys sign up for that. We'll do a couple credits. So you took it a step further, and you dived pretty deep into hypnosis, right?
Yeah, I did some NLP classes and I got introduced to hypnosis.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel it's still effective for this specifically for you, for people you talk to? How do you?
Yeah. So there's currently two traders I'm working with, and we use the futures desk as our money partner because um, the other firms don't like what we're doing, which is bullshit.
Making traders better?
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
just so you
Yeah,
guys know,
exactly.
Fat Cat came to us and we were talking. He was just asking. He's like, "Look, I'm starting a mini prop. I want to help some traders out." He's like, "Can I work with you guys?" And we were absolutely, Fat Cat has the same feeling as I do. We just enjoy helping people, enjoy getting traders better. The side effects obviously can be money, but we just align there. So we just said happy to do it. He can come use our system. We'll fund his traders that do well, and he can act as their coach and be a part of that reward. So,
Yeah, so
um,
the fact that I got that kind of flexibility from you guys, I'm like, all right, this is good. And also my traders, the guys that have had any issues with the platform, you guys have been very quick
thanks.
to take care of them. So
Oh,
the
that's
customer
my.
service has been good.
There, I have a great team. Really lucky. So yeah, the hypnosis. How did that go?
It's interesting. For me, it works. I usually record a track and I'll listen to it at night. Um, like I struggled with waking up early. Now I do it. It takes time. It's not an instant fix. So you're going into the trance-like state, and that goes back to the Wim Hof breath.
Mhm.
You're on it. If you were to measure your brain with EEG, your brain would go into delta waves when you're hyperventilating, and you're more likely to change the subconscious mind because a lot of our processes are really automated. Like you drive home from work or whatever, you
Mhm.
don't even think about it. It's in your subconscious mind. So getting your brain waves to slow down into a more relaxed wave pattern, you're more likely to be able to get in there and shift the brain. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a lot of studies with people who meditate all the time, and you can see
So
the
you
brain
talk. You're
change.
talking sort of. I'm not well versed in this stuff, but I do meditate. So there's sort of like the meditative state. And that's what I get into, where I'm just breathing appropriately. But at what point does that transition to hypnosis? Like where you're really at a deeper level of meditative state. Like, do you think I'm getting there when I'm meditating for 15 minutes, or is
Oh,
there?
absolutely.
Okay, okay,
Your brain waves are slowing down. The difference
sure.
is, like the hypnosis, there's different ways to do it. The way I do it is, if you if you guys have ever heard of the Gateway Experience, those
No.
tracks are free on YouTube. The Americans were trying to like astro project and spy on the Russians, but those meditation tracks, they're like a guided meditation slash hypnosis slash binaural beat thing.
It's like a
Man,
Soviet Russian propaganda beat. Is that what we're getting now?
no, it's actually on the ocean. You hear like,
Oh,
but then
okay.
there's this binaural beat, and this guy's talking like in a Morgan Freeman sort of David
Like that.
Attenborough voice. The
Okay.
voice being low. It's all about getting you relaxed. So I like the sound of rain or wind or thunderstorms in the background. A lot of
It's that
really
white noise,
painting,
right?
huh?
That white noise ask frequency range.
Yes. So that helps me relax. I'm talking in the track in a slow, deep voice,
Hmm.
and I'm explaining things with great detail. You can see the wind in the trees blowing, watching the leaves shaking. You're standing in the field.
And you do this like mid trade, only in the morning. Like, where are
This
you?
is at night. So
This is at night. Okay.
I record these hypnosis sessions and then I listen to them every night. And I'm like brainwashing myself
Sure.
to achieve something. I'll do the sessions live cuz I don't have anybody to facilitate it on me. But you get
Hmm.
into a relaxed state. I don't talk about trading. I just get into a relaxed state. and I associate. There's certain things that relax me, like I said, rain, for instance. So if you're going to review your trades like I told everybody and you're moving your stop like that one guy, listen to rain sounds, which I'll do. I'll be relaxed and then do the Wim Hof breath and then I'll look at it. After I'm in a deep relaxed state, the track then goes into me talking about trading. And I do this weird thing where I kind of like start talking about something that already makes me calm and happy. Like, I don't know, my cats or whatever. I'm petting the cat. This makes me calm and happy, just like not moving my stop. So I'm like kind of going in and out, and then I'd start talking about the trading and how I enjoy not moving the stop and all this stuff.
Do you see that script repeating every night, like the same script, or does it change?
Yeah, I like to stick to the same scripts. I don't think it's a good idea to stuff too much crap in it. Like I'm trying to change everything. That's not a good idea. I try to focus on certain things, and I run the script, same thing for a couple of months.
You think your cat subconsciously sneaks things in there, like getting more treats and stuff?
Yeah,
puts it into your meditative state.
They might. They might start licking my finger or something, and then that's
so. Then when you're in the middle of the day, and I'm assuming 90% of that ends up being subconscious. But do you feel like you get into a certain zone where you have calmed down in the trade, and you kind of remember that you meditated and being in that state from the night before? Do you have like recalls?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll do what I said I was gonna do, but I don't realize I'm doing it, like the good thing, and then I'm like, oh wait, that was in the track.
Mm-hmm.
Now with my traders, what's good about my traders is like if they're really having problems or we're reviewing, I can give them a hypnosis session on the spot. They can be shorter. It really depends. We alternate methods. It depends what they need. So we'll do and I talk exactly like we'll record their sessions. Maybe they take 2-3 losses in a row. I'm like, stop. Let's look at the recording. In the middle of the session, we'll go look at it, get him into a hypnotic state. He's listening to binaural beats. We listen to delta wave, and then they listen to rain sounds as well. And again, I'm only working with 2 guys. I'm not like you guys where I have a funding or anything. I just work with 2 guys. That's it. Then we start to record the price like we watch the price action. I have them come out of the trance state. They're relaxed. Then what I do is I just walk them through what they should have been doing. Now, what's interesting is one trader in particular, we started to realize that the way he grew up and childhood stuff was affecting him as a trader. So I ended up tapping into like a deeper set of tools, like NLP stuff and like parts integration, because we have an account with you guys and he's kept it alive for fucking 6 months or something. He hasn't passed.
I tell you what though, if I'm very familiar with a lot of these other props and what's going on with all these people. When I hear that stuff, I'm like, you don't get it. Like these traders have kept accounts alive. It's usually like a few days max, right? Or one day.
Is that what the statistic is?
I don't have all the other companies' numbers and how that goes. Again, when you fail ours, we make you wait a day even after that to reset.
Yeah, but you notice they blow them out pretty quick.
But that's the game. It's like you're going up with like a bag of coins to a carnival game, and the basketball hoop's a little smaller, and you can make a ton of money, and it's sort of playing basketball, but it's not. It's like it. But they know that too. Everyone's aware on both sides.
And then if they reset it, they don't have to dig out of the fucking drawdown.
Yeah, you know it's like a third. You pay like $50 or something for a new account, and then now that just solved all your problems, and you never get used to holding. So, as much as it seems crazy, probably from your perspective on the other end of the spectrum, like you've held this account for 6 months and you haven't earned, you don't have a profit factor that's kind of increasing at least a little bit. Maybe that's not crazy, but you know what I'm saying. It's in this space. Like I am really happy when people come in. Like I've been in the assessment for 40 days. And some people are like, oh, that sucks. You had to be. I'm like, no, this person's learning how to, at the very least, hold their own personal account. if that's all they get out of this. Hopefully, they learn how to hold our accounts.
It's
But
good.
yeah, it's fine. It's great. Like, just learn to lose less, guys.
And honestly, you can't go from like losing all the time to just winning. There's like this weird transition where you're like, you are floundering. You have to go through
Hmm.
that phase. So he's kept it alive for a long time. And I said, that's all that matters. I don't care how long this takes. Because if they don't get paid, I don't get paid because we split. So for me, this is like a charity almost right now, which is fine.
Yeah,
I knew what I was getting into.
and we learn too when we teach. There is
Yeah.
something you get out of teaching. So
So I could tell he was getting to a point where, because we talk on the mic, I could tell he was getting to this wanting to blow it out. Because all of his prior combines before me, he would blow them out, reset. This is as long as and I could tell he was getting to that point. And he grappled with the quitter mentality. So I had to do some deep work with him on quitter. Part of him wants to succeed, but the other part of him wants to quit. And I did like this NLP technique, which is kind of borderline hypnosis, and I brought the two parts together.
was it in like a tent in the desert with
What's that?
mushrooms? It was in a tent in the desert with mushrooms.
It was on a mic on the computer, but
Okay.
that would have been more impactful. It was really intense for him, though. If I can get an intense emotional draw out of these guys when I do a hypnosis or whatever, if I think about it this way, people don't change unless they experience trauma. Usually,
Traumatize them.
yeah, and that trauma is just a big emotion. So if I can hit a big emotional tab,
Sure.
I can usually get a shift, and I'm getting changes with this trader.
That's awesome.
So we brought the quitter and the successful part together, and he enjoyed because he works part time. He enjoyed going to work, and his attitude just shifted. And I'm like, we went on a tactical pause because I was moving vacation, and now today was the first day he's traded his account in 2 months, which he's been paying the monthly fee. And he won today. He made some money. He's only trading one micro because we're gotten pretty close to blowing it out. So instead of trading a mini, it's like you're on a micro. So he's going to run a micro for 2 weeks. And then in 2 weeks, we'll bump it up to 2. And that's the thing. He also survived when VIX went 50 on this same account. Like, he was trading a mini at first.
Is that because he overheld and it went in his direction?
No. So I'm like, all right, VIX is high. I said, you're not trading a mini anymore. You're going to go down to 5 micros, and you need to increase your stop. I need like a 5 to 10 point stop because VIX is really high. And I need you to have at least 5 stop outs before you hit drawdown. I don't like that 3. I don't like 3 strikes you're out type of shit. I don't want him to have 5 because like if you're in your head, you get in your head if it's like 3. So have enough risk for that. And he did well. I mean, he kind of floundered through it, but he never got to the point where he would have blown it out because we sized down when the volatility kicked in. That's how he survived. So this account's like seen some shit. So for me, it's a very interesting. I may have it. Let me see if I have his account.
Which reminds me, we have a coaching module and we use internally that's built into the platform. It'll be coming out soon, but you'll be able to just dive into all of his reports and monitor him on your own.
That would be interesting. Let's see. Yeah, but anyways,
It's all right. Well, Raj is telling me there's another question here,
yeah, for sure.
and it's a 2-part. Then we'll do the giveaway.
This one right here, I've been trading for a year and a half and still haven't seen any payouts. I can pass evaluations, but I keep blowing the accounts afterwards. I enjoy trading. It's not just about the money. I'm curious if you know what's going on. I feel like I'm digging a hole I might not be able to climb out of. Do you have any advice? Well, I've never seen anybody get consistent after in a 2-year period. I've just not seen it personally. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I just don't see that.
But on your road to consistency, right? So how
Yeah.
do we get him on the right path?
Here's the hard part: is like if this dude's never traded all-time highs or a VIX 50, how do you know how to trade a condition or environment if you haven't been through it?
Yeah.
That's what makes trading so hard. Is if you haven't been through that and figured it out and can identify that the regime has changed and adjust. Because when VIX went 50 in COVID, I got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
This time in February, I'm like, I know exactly what to do, and I did fine.
Yeah, seeing the different market conditions and cycles, uh, that's just time. Once you've been through certain events, like you went through the GameStop event, and again, how he's saying
Oh, yeah,
this year's been wild. Uh, you have to be able to be. You can't be. It's like getting in a trade. You can't be you can't always be the first person in a trade, but you need to be one of the first people that senses that the market conditions are shifting. And you can't just hold on to. I hear people say stuff, oh, before the Trump stuff, I was doing such a good job, and they're just sort of waiting for that to return, and they're not making any adjustments, and they have a very specific point drawdown they use. They have a very specific point target they use, and I'm like, you can't make this thing on your screen do the thing you want. That's not what's happening. This is connected to a train, and it's moving.
It may never come. I could want 300. I could want 300 bid offer on ES like pre-COVID, but it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
For this one guy though who's struggling, man. I mean, are you tagging?
Yeah.
I would measure your clarity. Are you clear or confused when you place the trade? I would start there. Like if you know, like that's where I would start. 2 tags. I'm clear or I'm confused when I place that trade. You'll be surprised. It's hard to give people advice
Without knowing.
Yeah, it's like, well, are you reviewing? Are you tagging? I can't help you if you're not helping yourself. And unfortunately, a lot of traders get into this and they don't realize that's kind of what you have to do. That's the quality of your work.
Mm-hmm. Maintain systematically good habits can help the subconscious. It is very important. Don't repeat every time the same mistakes. Again, like I say, you probably are consistent at something, but it's not the behavior you want. So your job is to figure out how to either remove the behaviors that suck that you can just stop, or change them to be the appropriate. And how do you do that? You need to see what you're doing, or what are you adjusting? You're not adjusting anything. Now you're just hopping from YouTube video to YouTube video with 95% win strategies, just taking random trades. And as much as we wish that was a true thing, that's just not how it works. That's just how the YouTube algorithms work, and that's what they show you. So,
you know what else I think? I think we as a human species survived because we learned to be, risk adverse. It's like, hey, we're not gonna go fight that fucking lion with our fists.
Right.
Let's get together. Let's get some spears. You know what I mean? And even then, I might not do that. I think we're not wired to do this. This is like the risk you take and seeing peanuts fluctuate. I don't, and most humans are creatures of habit. You do the same thing. And when you're getting into these situations where you go into like risk adverse mode and you're just making it worse without realizing it, you have to change as a person to do this. Mm-hmm. There's no way around it. So everything you're going to be extraordinarily uncomfortable a lot. And you have to learn how to like go through that barrier. And then eventually
it is a lot like going to war, and you've got these like, you're going to have leadership. You're going to have these captains that know that some people are, back to your analogy, if you're going to go hunt, they might know if we're going to go try to kill a woolly mammoth, then we're going to lose a few guys. And that's just part of it. Like, we're not going to get 100%. Everyone is going to survive this woolly mammoth, but this is what we do. This is what I've seen for the last 30 years. We're going to lose a couple guys, but we have to get the woolly mammoth. or we lose essentially our whole account. So just start learning those statistics and just being okay with the broader picture.
And I'll say this about doing your work and your tags. If you really don't trade all day, for one, you're going to get fatigued after a couple hours. Stop. That's like you're trading drunk.
Don't think you can power through it. That's not.
No.
This isn't like you're doing some roofing. You're like, let me just finish, even though the sun's
Yeah,
coming up.
exactly.
Yeah.
It can get bad because when
You'll get just as tired in your brain.
Yeah, if you're tired, it's almost like you're drunk.
Mhm.
There's no outperforming that. And if you just can really put in the effort to do the work and really try to figure out what's going on, you're just doing this every day. And it feels like nothing is happening, but I'm telling you, for me, 8.5 years later, looking back at it, it's like, damn. But like on the day-to-day grind, it feels like you're really not making progress. You might not be if you're not doing anything about it. But if you're actively tagging, tag. I am a huge proponent on tagging. I don't care how you guys do it. Tag.
Yeah. Again, guys, I would love. It makes total sense to use what we've built for you. But if you're still struggling to just take the time to do that, literally get a piece of paper out and write a smiley face. Just do the minimal you can just to get started. You'll find that if you do a smiley face, you might actually write down a sentence. And if you write down a sentence, you might write down more. Like just start annotating what you're doing. Like the greatest scientists in history all journaled, and there's a reason for that.
Oh, this guy got back to us. I use volume profile in my trading. I usually don't review my trades, and I tend to enter too early and hold on to positions even when they're not working. When I'm in profit, I trail my stop to close. You got to review, man. I'm afraid of what I. And it's also, it's not going to be a one. It's never like one issue that's the problem. It's usually multiple. If you just do the review, I don't know if you know who Dr. Brent Steenbarger is. Really great trading psychologist. He had two traders. One guy was like super smart, and the other guy was like really emotional. The really emotional guy just continued to do his reviews, and he got good. And the really smart dude wasn't reviewing, and he ended up dropping out. And trading does not give a shit about academics at all. But that for the one dude, you got to record. You can record to YouTube. Use OBS. It's free. So stream. Use it. And that's what streamers use, like gamers. It's an open source thing. It's called OBS. Stream to a YouTube channel, so you're storing all your footage there.
Make it private. It's totally cool. Unlisted, private.
And what's also cool is you can take the timestamps from your trade and have like a spreadsheet or something, and you can chapter really quickly where the trades are. I usually do about 30 seconds before the trade starts. So instead of sifting through 3 hours of footage or whatever, I create a timestamp and just with some spreadsheet math, and then you can just find the trades quickly, and it makes the review process a lot faster by doing that. Just watch those recordings. And if you trade for like an hour and you spend 3 hours going through those recordings, you're going to get better. It's not sitting here and trading isn't how you get better, even though but then again, it does get addicting, and I think people struggle with gambling addiction, which I'm not going to go down that.
Yeah, there's way more than that than people want to mention. So Rajdeep's gonna hop in. We've got so many names, Fat Cat, because everyone wants to see you. So the fun part here is we're gonna pick a name, and we're gonna let you say the name, so I don't have to butcher the name. You get to.
All right, I get the screwed up.
And you have to read the whole name, first name and last name, okay?
God dang. So you're gonna click it?
Yeah, go ahead, Raj.
Cool. Dude, the font's so small. Mark Bono. Congratulations!
$200 TFT credit for you guys.
Hell yeah. Oh, there's more. I'm a lead. That was an easy one.
Oh, you had it easy. Let's do a couple more. Let's do a couple practice accounts, Raj. So this will just give you enough so you can, if you haven't used us before, you do have us, you can already set up free
They can
practice
tag on the
accounts.
practice account too.
They can do everything, yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
mean,
you go.
sit in the practice account as long as you need, guys.
Camille Boucher.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'll go with the French one.
Oh man, that looks like a big one.
There we go.
Ramon.
Do you want to? I'll let you. If you want to bring up your tagging system that you built, I don't mind. Whatever we can do to help make traders better. And if you want to get a little crazy and do a giveaway, do you have that facility?
I don't know how to do a giveaway, but I would give somebody. Can you maybe spin the damn wheel or something?
Yeah, spin the wheel and he'll figure it out.
Okay. So we'll give you a month of premium. Holy crap!
The whole thing. The whole thing.
Fawaz Hakeem bin Iskandar. Congratulations.
Nailed it. We'll send you his email.
Yeah,
we'll give you his email address.
Yeah, give me his email. I'll give him a deal. It's tradecraft.club. We don't have a .com domain. We actually are getting one. But it's tradecraft.club. This is the website. There is a free trial, and it's a tagging software. You can see all the tags and stuff. You can customize the dashboard however you want. Line charts, pie charts, the calendar. The calendar is pretty cool because you don't just look at your trades, you can look at tags as well. For example, give me a minute, I'll put it over here real quick. Yeah, that's it. There is free trial on it. You don't need you can get up to 3 tags or something. You don't really need an email or any of that for the free version of it. But yeah, it's my tagging software. This is what I use with my guys personally. Again, I have my own little prop thing going on. I am not taking on new people right now. I'm very focused on these other traders. Here would be like my session as it loads, and it is still very much under development. But you can drag these widgets wherever you want, filter them however you want. This is our playbook system. So I can go to page filter, tag, add a filter, and then we'll go to A+ holds, which is a tag. These are my tags.
Just a couple.
And then we can look at the video footage as well as the screenshots of each of these trades. And then I can just go to the journal and it'll take me to that specific trade. But yeah, that's kind of what we have going on. It's mostly a tagging software. And that
awesome.
one guy got a month of it. So I do appreciate the love on your behalf for letting me share that.
Yeah, sure. We will lift people up that we think are doing the right thing. So it doesn't matter if you're competing with us or not. In some way or form.
Dude, there's so much opportunity.
There's so much opportunity and people are doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So if anybody, I don't know if there's any other questions. Good work with the guests. Yeah. Check Fat Cat out on his own YouTube channel. Tons of content. Use Nadra. There's a question for you.
You used to use Nadra. Have you stopped? I modified the crap out of it. I still kind of use it. I think narrative's important. What is the A again? Acceptance. I think acceptance of price action's important. D is DVAs. I don't use those. R is rhythm. I think rhythm of market is important, and order flow does have its place. So I would say, in a way, Nadro has inspired me a little bit, but my system is my own system. It's like a hacked up version. I've taken Gary Norden, John Grady, the Nadro, but it's also my own system too, in the sense that um, I've found my own discoveries. So I never really committed to Nadro 100%.
Mhm. Okay. Cool. Oh wait. Question: how to eyeball away from P&L? Turn it off. Set your daily risk on the day and turn it off. Maybe later on you can turn it back on, but if you're wondering, just turn it off. Take good trades. Backtesting. I use CR Charts. They've got a great backtesting system. Put in real time. Tick-based data. Make sure you use tick-based data unless you really are making only decisions after candle closing, which is it's hard to be really successful at that. But yeah, make sure if you're doing backtesting, you're doing it based on ticks and not full candles. Feel free to jump in on these.
My simple entry strategy works, but I keep adding indicators, feeling it's not enough. Have you seen this? I have, and I've experienced it myself. I don't use indicators, just price action. I used to use a lot of.
I think we lost you for a minute. I can't hear you. Can you guys hear him?
Oh wait,
There we go. There we go.
what happened?
Cat roll over it. Now you're quieter, but it's. Oh,
What is that better?
we'll make it work.
Yeah. So I
Everyone, I'll try to get further away so I'm not as loud.
keep adding indicators, feeling it's not enough. I've experienced that. The problem is, I think you're like trying to find that like holy grail. I think you're trying to find that combination of indicators where it always works. And truth be told, that's not going to happen. There's going to be time.
I think you got to check your mic. It's pretty
really
hard to hear. It's kind of like electronic noise. But
really?
The indicators are, everyone I think has to go through if I can just find the perfect combination of indicators, it's going to give me this really, really high predictability on the trade. And indicators help. And I know there's a cliche of like indicators are just kind of indicating, but it's not a trade in its own. And I think some people just have to go down that pathway of I think I can find the perfect combination. And it's not going to fix all your problems. That's not how it works.
Do I still sound terrible?
That's better. There you go.
Okay. Can you give me some name for the best psychologist for trading? Dr. Brent Steenbarger and Rand Howell.
Who's that guy? I always go back to him. The YouTube videos are free. He's given like a seminar. Passed
Might
away.
be Rand Howell. Is it an older dude?
It's an older dude. I don't remember. I'll find it. We'll put in the show notes.
Oh, Mark Douglas too.
Mark Douglas. That's
Yeah.
the one. Yeah, you can find his multi-part seminar. That's a really good watch. I watch that several times a year.
You can also look at psychological stuff that has nothing to do with trading, and I find that oftentimes when you like venture out of the trading realm, like one of my favorite books is Bounce by Matthew Sid. It talks about how top athletes became top athletes, and what their work looked like, the practice, how did Tiger Woods get so good, how talent doesn't really exist. And for me, like you can take that and spin it into trading. So there's a lot of stuff you can look for outside of the trading realm.
Jared Tendler's a good overlapping psychologist there. Someone mentioned it. We might have him on. I've talked to him before. But he's interesting because he's actually gone. He's been a pro poker player. He does do pro golf, but they also bring him. And then he coaches traders as well, professional traders. But he also he gets even pulled on the PGA tours to be the on-site psychology coaches for some big PGA tour guys. But yeah, lots of content out there. Go for the psychologist. All psychology matters here. It'll put you through the ringer. But so look at the worst case stuff, and that probably applies to trading.
For this guy here, how to switch bias as the day progresses. I keep trading my original bias. Make a tag that says married, or I have one. It's called fixated on idea tag. So make a tag, and when you're doing that, just tag I'm married to this
I'm
bias.
taking 100 small trades against the trend. It's going to be long today, and I told everyone in my Discord group it was going to be long, and I don't want to be wrong. That's the problem. How to switch by so but a lot of it is tagging will make it more obvious to you and bring that logic side into your brain, but that's the big part, and Jared Tendler talks about that actually, is just injecting logic into the situation, that you're kind of shifting all the time between analytical, which is like before the day starts and you haven't taken any trades yet, and then there's the emotional side, the animal side, the fear side, the you know I'm you're tunnel visioned into like I need that long, and you're getting burnt, and your P&L is going down. You're like, no, it's long. I'm just going to keep adding, and you have to somehow get yourself out of that mode and get back to analytical side. So I sometimes even think of myself as two different roles. I'm sort of like the executor, and then I have the analytical person, and I try to play Jekyll and Hyde a little bit in my day, and I'll snap back into okay, no, I'm really biased here for some reason. I'm emotionally bound to this trade, so snap back into analytical mode and be two different people. You mean use the band? They're pretty good.
I've used heart rate monitors. I've not used EEG yet, which would be Muse. I have another trader who's doing it. Problem is when your eyes are moving around, it can get artifacts. We're trying to figure that out actually. I've done heart rate though.
How'd that look? Is it obvious, or did it give you some insight?
I'm trying to recall off a few years ago. It was a cheaper heart rate monitors. You kind of see something. I think the best thing is like just narrate yourself trading when you record and kind of listen to yourself. That says a lot. Or some traders will record themselves in the bottom of the screen.
Recording yourself and making yourself talk out loud is fun because a lot of traders will look back and they go, oh, I knew I should have went short. But then if you watch your recording and you're narrating it and you're saying definitely a long, yeah, I'm definitely going long here. But they'll try to save face later and be like, I knew I should have gone short. But own it. Own that decision that you're making during the day, because that's what's playing out.
How can I use market profile or volume profile to identify high probability long entry zones in the NASDAQ? There is no black or white answer to that one.
Yeah, that's a deep question. You got to really dig in. There are some good books on that. Who would be the best for market profile? Norden covers that too, right?
He's more scalper, market making, real small trades.
Yeah, well, someone Raj will drop a link into a couple of good books. Once I remember.
Yeah, Mind Over Markets is one.
Mind Over Markets. The Free Emotions Trading, old book. Wow. All right, I'll check it out. Yeah, Mind Over Markets. Okay. Music on when you're trading. I do. I put on music with no words, and I've done that working programming for 2 decades. I don't know if it matters what kind. You can do a beat. You can do 120 beats per minute. Like there's some theory there. What about you?
If I'm in a long and I'm holding it, I put on Creed. Can you take me higher?
Do you really?
Yeah.
And then if it's dropping Nickelback.
Yeah. Usually either rain sounds or like dub techno with no words or nothing. I think music.
You really do. You put Can You Take Me Higher?
Yeah.
So really...
If I'm in a long and I'm holding it, because I talk to traders all day, and I'll just put it on sometimes. But every time I do, it goes down. You know what I mean? But sometimes I'll have a trader who's like, "Oh, I can't do this anymore. I need to get up." And the moment somebody leaves, it moves. So I'm like, "All right, that's a sacrifice for us." You
All
know?
right, I like it. Creed superstition.
Yeah,
Get on
superstition
board,
for
guys.
sure.
Maybe we should build that into the platform. So when the market's going up, it just starts playing that, and you can't turn it off.
Yeah, there you
People
go.
would love that. Oh, Bromstein and trade DAX. I like that. That's funny. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Fat Cat's got to get back to meditating. What's your bias for PM? Do you mean nighttime? Is that what you mean? Or am I missing that acronym?
Maybe afternoon trade today. It's still in the
No,
area
for
where
today.
I originally thought. If that's what you're referring to, I mean, like I said, it's sticking around. Who knows, man? I think there could be a chance that it could push low, but man, it's just floating.
All right. Cool. Thanks for having you on. It looks like everyone enjoyed that as much as I did.
Cool.
Have you on again
Appreciate it.
whenever you want.
Sure.
Cool. Enjoyed it.
All right, gentlemen. I'll see you next time.
All right, guys. Make sure you check out Fat Cat's YouTube channel. Good content all the time. See ya.